is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah, well,
I'm married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
What's up, Tyler?
Wow, what's up?
You know what? That was an accident. That is not how I wanted to say that. It was like an inward breathing moment.
Saturday.
What's up, Tyler?
We're recording on a Saturday this week.
Saturday afternoon, a dog day afternoon. It's 83 degrees and a good time.
And the off panel, off wrestling folks are taking it to the streets at Gunblade & Sons Event Center. Wait, no, we're not doing that.
No. Actually,
Last time we got together, we did, yeah.
Yeah, that will be up next Tuesday. So June 7th will be the first episode of OPOW Octane. It's going to be on our OPOT gaming channel. So check it out.
We're branching out.
A lot of fun.
Our brand's getting huge.
It's pretty fun.
I got a couple of unboxing videos that I'll release next week.
Yeah.
Did a Super Mario set.
I'm still working out some ideas for video game essays. So
We need to get our skits done, too.
We'll never do those.
I guess.
We'll never do.
So.
But yeah, the off-panel, off-wrestling stuff has been a lot of fun. Mostly because it goes back to a simpler time in my life when I didn't have the responsibilities of an adult.
Yeah.
And I used to play these games. Will you get out of here?
See,
Stop.
Yeah, dog's being weird. I used to watch wrestling when I was in my early 20s, like 25 or whatever.
But yeah, and I've been playing these WWE games for a long time. Like I started playing them back in like 2004.
Right.
So I've been like on and off. It's also how like I treat it like how the WWE wants you to treat it, like it's a sports game where I would play that like every other year, like I would with college football and NFL
or a Madden or
but
whatever.
I would do this stuff in my own head. I'd have my own canon of like and at one point you could create a story in the games.
Yeah.
So I was doing this stuff already, and then it's just now that I was like, why not make this a show? Might I like actually put stuff behind. And I know that we're not the first to do this. We're definitely not.
No.
But I think
we're
what
the best.
doing,
we're going to be the best.
what I think we're doing is going to be a little bit different in the sense of we have some like there's going to be like comedy sketches in between matches because like we're going to keep making these fake ads and fake movie trailers, and they're only going to get more ridiculous.
So interestingly enough, I started playing Madden when I learned that you could you could make up your own players back in I think 05 or 04 or 05, and I bought almost every Madden for like 12 years in a row, and I thought about I think 2007 or 8, around the time that I was starting my broadcasting career in TV behind the scenes, I thought about, because I kept track of all of my 30-year franchises, because at the time you could only go 30 years, and I would go all 30 years and like do these things.
Tyler,
I thought about doing like a weekly show talking about the team.
Yeah.
But the thing is that I often went like 15-1. And won the Super Bowl every year, which is just boring. So it's like, you can't really do that.
Well, dude,
I thought about doing that, so I'm glad we're doing something like that because it's fun.
You would have thrived earlier in the early on message board days because that was.
I know
those are still big to this day.
Really?
Yeah, with they're usually just sporting. Like there's a Operation Sports is one of the bigger ones that I've gone to for like. Ideas for like NCAA teams and like NFL teams and like relocation stuff and all that. So yeah, it's just fun to make video game content because I've always wanted to do something video game.
There's a market
related.
for it for some fucking reason to watch somebody else play.
And who knows? This thing might crash
Still
and burn.
don't get it.
And whatever. At least I have a month of programming planned out at the very least.
To be fair, we're not actually playing the game. It's
Well, I know, but I'm just saying that like.
But those
if people
generally
people don't want to watch it, will you just shut up and let me finish my pitch, man? You keep undercutting me, dude. No, I'm kidding. No, and the best part is this is what I always wanted this to do is it's getting our friends involved, and I used to do a wrestling podcast back in the day, so I'm trying to get those guys involved in it, and I used to be a backyard wrestler. If you don't know that,
no, you told me that.
EWE.
One of the first things you told me when we. Actually, I remember
when we started this, I
the
told you.
first time we started talking, like at the station. I remember one of the first things you told me was that you were a backyard wrestler, and honestly, I was like, "Oh, you're one of those guys."
How
that's
dare you?
kind of the way I thought of you for
but
just
you
a split
You
second.
gotta understand.
Because then we started talking about like Total Recall, and I was like, "Okay, you're all right."
You gotta understand here. Backyard wrestlers are good people.
I know where you grew up.
Those are our people. Those are
I'm
my
not.
people.
Listen,
Don't insult the good people.
you didn't
of
do something
EWE.
stupid and do something to break your spine, so you're all right.
Yes, we were relatively safe. It was
Right.
we were on a trampoline. It wasn't like a real like. No, based on what I've heard other people do.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like, holy shit. Which it's funny. I'm sorry, we keep talking about wrestling. I promise we'll get to the main stuff in a
Whatever.
second.
Wrestling is awesome.
But it's a long and short way of explaining like we're doing something we're going to be branching out a little bit, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. But my cousin, who EJB, who you will know when the show comes out.
Yes.
But my cousins and I used to backyard, like we were the backyard wrestling stuff was I did with my cousins.
Yeah.
So we all have like our own characters. So I made those characters in the game. And funny enough, my cousin Eric, his brother Adam, my other cousin, he like legitimately put like they did a trampoline too, but they made it look like a ring. Like they actually added ropes and stuff. And they would do like table matches where they'd throw each other on a piece of plywood and I laughed because I was like, they're doing exactly what we were doing, but they were just smart enough to film it because they were getting good views. Like people were watching their content. So
it's
it's
know.
just funny how that does. So I've always wanted to do that, and I've always liked doing the like.
Yeah.
What I love about those WWE games, and what I will always love about them, is the breadth of creativity you can have in them.
Oh, it's pretty insane. Like all the different.
I
could do.
I told you I've booked at least a month. I have things after that I would like to do if we could still do it, and it's viable for everybody to do it.
Well, we'll see if Bill Crisp and Max Girth are available for more, more commentary.
They're only contracted for a month, so
we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Pay them some more money.
I
want to
promise you though, Independence Slam.
Oh boy,
that will be.
Forget WrestleMania.
Independence
Slam.
You're gonna sit around the family, have a good time. You're gonna have your cookout, and then you're gonna be watching Independence Slam on YouTube because it's gonna be the event you need to watch. I'm not gonna promise it's not gonna be live.
No.
Live at a different time.
So my wrestling story. This is great. I lived in an apartment on Johnson Street in Iowa City. Anybody who lived in Iowa City knows that's like Party Street. And we watched Monday Night Raw every Monday.
Yeah. Back in the
at the
90s
house.
when it was cool.
Oh yeah, totally. This is like late 90s.
Oh yeah, I grew up in the Attitude Era.
My I obviously I've talked about I drank for a long time, and one night, a couple nights before that, I had tried to bike over to my girlfriend's house, and I hit this divot in front of our house and literally face planted, and like really hurt myself and everything, and my girlfriend at the time found out about it, and she was already not happy with me about, I don't know, who knows. I was like in my 20s. But I think she probably already knew that like I don't want to be with this guy who drinks all the time because, he's a fuck up, whatever. Anyway, so I hadn't heard from her for a while, and we're watching wrestling, and we're having a good time. We're having some beers, and we're, chit-chatting, smoking, whatever. And the phone rings. My one roommate says, "Can't talk, wrestling." And the guy closest to the phone picks up the phone and says, "Can't talk, wrestling," and hangs up the phone. They all know that I'm waiting to talk to my girlfriend, right? And this is like way before cell phone. So I'm like, shit. I look at the caller ID. Of course it's her. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like I'm already in trouble, right?
Yeah.
So it was really funny to look back on it because it was hilarious. Now I think about it, it was hilarious. Like that's so funny that
Can't talk wrestling.
that the guy who answered the phone actually said it. Like, of course we joked about that more often than that just one time, but that was the first time that somebody actually picked up the phone and did that. And I was like, fuck, of course. Mm-hmm. So I called her back, and of course that relationship did not last.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
But
well,
hey, a lot of relationships are learning.
Those things aren't meant to last.
Things,
Kicking ass.
Yes, kicking ass.
Yeah. So let's move
That's my wrestling
into
story.
some.
And it was like a soap opera for guys,
Yeah.
So many storylines.
Well, that's what I love about it. Is it first and foremost is a TV show, And I looked at this OPOW stuff as another way for me to tell a story, and
Yeah.
because I was joking with the plans that we have in place for some of the stuff that we're gonna do with this show. The show is going to evolve into something that is going to be really satirical and funny and irreverent.
Yeah.
And also be this ridiculous wrestling show at the same time.
I can say that we've already, we did the
First 2 episodes were fun.
Yeah,
I'm
we
excited.
did a bunch of that stuff earlier this week, and it was the first time we had done it. Obviously, Jake and I have a rapport from working together for so long, but it was still, being different characters and whatnot. I think we did pretty all right. I think there was a couple of little stumbles, but I think it did really well for just never having done that type of stuff before.
Yeah.
I think I was trying to do like the 50s, like, hey, welcome to.
Yeah, your voice changes.
But I kept going into like Southern.
Yeah,
Did you notice that? Like, I don't know what's going on down here. And like,
Yeah.
what are you doing?
Off OPOT Gaming, June 7th, we will have the
It's a
first
learning curve.
episode of OPOW Octane.
I'll just have to start talking like this
And
regularly.
Yes, July 3rd, I believe,
Yes.
is a Sunday.
Max Garth and Bellcrest.
I think the 4th of July is on a Monday.
I don't know. The 4th
Yeah.
is on a Tuesday because the July 2nd I'm doing something.
Okay, well, so July.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
Hang
if it's on a Tuesday, perfect. It'll be on a because the show airs on a
Let me
Tuesday.
make
But
sure.
anyway, we're
Yeah.
moving past.
Yeah, we're moving
We're
past
we're
it.
not talking about this
No,
anymore.
I'm just looking at it.
I know.
But
But so a lot of Star Wars news came out this week because there was a Star Wars celebration, and of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi launched on Disney Plus on Friday. And
it is on a Monday. Just saying.
Oh, okay. So let's kind of just talk about Obi-Wan first, and then we'll touch on some of the other stuff that we heard about.
Yeah.
You and I have some interesting viewpoints on this show
Yes.
because
For different stuff. Yeah.
very different reasons. And I kind of explained it to you before we
Before we
went
get,
on mic.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I have a question for you when you're done before
I
we get into
go
the
ahead.
Okay. Have you okay, so I was in my 20s and whatnot when the prequels came out. I went and saw all 3 in the theater. I liked them enough for what they were. I was I was divisive about them and kind of, shitty about them for a while, but now I've understood that there are really good parts about the prequels that are, worth checking out again.
Yeah.
How I think that's important to know before we get into this, that I've done that. How is your relationship with the prequels?
Oh, I don't like them.
Okay, you've never ever come back to them and
No,
been
I
like,
did.
okay, they're okay.
I did. I
Okay.
came back to them before The Force Awakens came out.
No,
And-
the prequels.
Yeah, before The Force Awakens came out, I watched all the Star Wars movies.
Right. Phantom Menace and
All of them, all 6.
Okay.
And I couldn't get through them because I just
Phantom Menace is
there's-
really hard to get through.
Well, the Attack of the
Super
Attack
hard.
of the Clones. I was like, this is
Attack of the Clones has a lot of sappy romantic shit that you have to
Well,
fast forward through, but Episode 3 is pretty fucking great.
It's just the CG does not hold up at all.
All right, well,
for
okay.
me.
No, it's okay.
To me it looks like shit. And
I'm sure, but we're talking story. We're talking
story-wise,
beats,
and this is what we're gonna run into with this show.
Mm-hmm. Already.
I didn't feel a need to know what fucking Darth Vader was like as a child. I didn't need to know that.
Fair enough. Okay, fair enough. But we're talking about the third.
Wait, what?
Episode 3. We're talking about episode 3
You keep
because that's more relevant to the show.
Episode 3 is fine. It's not bad.
You don't love
but
the
it's
fucking
not-
end battle between the two? That's
Yeah.
kick ass.
But yeah, you still have to swim through fucking 2 hours of shit
Do
to get
ya?
to that.
Fast forward.
No, here's the thing.
Scene selection.
I'll be totally fair with you. I'll be totally honest with you. I tried to watch all 6 Star Wars movies.
Sure.
I couldn't. I got through
I can't watch.
I got through
yeah.
like halfway episode 1. I was like, whatever. I got through like halfway of episode 2. I was like, after that big arena fight scene, it was all just CGI garbage. I was just like, ah. And then they really annoy me with the fucking Yoda doing the flippy dippy bullshit. All right, this old man. No, I'm kidding. I actually like that because I like Yoda. But I didn't even watch episode 3 because I knew that. Dude,
Wow. The best one of the three.
Tyler, spoiler. I know how it happened.
I
what
guess
happens.
you
He
fucking
becomes
do.
fucking Darth
I guess
Vader
you-
because I know he does.
I guess you fucking do, don't you?
Prequels are fucking pointless. Look.
Sure, fair enough.
Are there prequel movies that I have liked? I'm sure I have.
We're getting off on a tangent here.
Well, no, but
a little bit.
No, because it explains my feeling towards this show.
Okay.
In a sense
Yes,
of
it does.
why
It does.
are we making this show when there are no stakes to what's happening? Because I know that Obi-Wan finds Luke. I know that Darth Vader kills Obi-Wan in Episode 4. I know all this stuff. My big problem with Star Wars is they've always got to be like, we have to explain something that doesn't need to be explained because our audience can just go with what we're telling the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like
Okay.
As good as Rogue One is, did that movie need to exist?
Wow, now you're fucking ripping Rogue. What the hell?
No, I'm not saying that's a bad movie, but again, why did you make a whole movie to explain a plot hole?
Oh my God! Come on. And
And
you're
it's
just mad about the fucking Grand Moff Tarkin and the Leia stuff.
No,
Interestingly enough,
here's the thing, Tyler.
you're also mad about
here's
Leia.
the thing.
And
I
Obi-Wan.
like Rogue One,
Okay.
and I'm gonna like Andor, and I'm pretty sure Andor is a prequel.
We did watch the Andor trailer,
So-
and that looks really fucking cool.
So don't listen to me. Turn off the podcast.
No, keep
No.
it up. I think it is important because before the first episode, they do recap everything that happened in the prequels to give you an idea of. Now, think about this, guys.
Okay.
All right, jeez.
No, go-
I want you to finish what you were doing. I do, because I know where I'm going, but I don't want you to lose what you're talking about.
Well, what I was saying, because you kind of interjected and I didn't
I'm
get to finish
sorry.
my thoughts.
I know.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
I'm sorry.
We're fucking fine.
I want you to. It's fine.
I'm fucking.
God
no.
damn it.
But okay, so
Yeah.
in like around 2015, around the time that Force Awakens coming out, some friends and I are sitting around. We're talking like, well, because they had already announced Rogue One's coming out, and they already announced that the Solo movie's coming. Like,
Yeah,
and this is the
they
point
bit
we're
off
like,
more
are we
than they could
gonna
chew.
get a Boba Fett movie? Are we gonna
Yeah.
get the? So we were speculating like what they
Obi-Wan movie. Yeah.
what are they gonna do? And a buddy of mine said Obi-Wan, like they want an Obi-Wan movie, and I said, why? And he goes, because I want to know what happens after Episode 3 to Episode 4. And I go, you know what happens? He finds Luke. He was on Tatooine with Luke. That's it. You don't need to tell me that story. And then now, fast forward to now, and then this is the movie that's coming, or this is the show that's coming out. So just, I don't know. On a base level, I just feel like this doesn't need to exist.
Do you like Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan?
Yes.
So why can't you just enjoy more Obi-Wan being played by Ewan McGregor like I'm doing? That's what I'm doing. I really am.
Yeah.
I do want to start off by saying that my expectations for the show, you and I were kind of in the same boat. I had I was like, you know what? You fucked up the Book of Boba Fett. You really did.
I'll never forgive him for that.
Honestly, just what the fuck? Why? I still think you decided, you made decisions by proxy and by fan vote for all three of the sequel movies, which made them kind of shit.
It felt like the screenplay was like a
Written by a
Reddit post.
Yes, right?
Yeah.
So, my expectations are low, but I do have to say this. I love Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan, and you can tell that he loves playing this character.
Yeah.
And I will say that I viewed the prequels differently. Yes, there are no stakes. Yes, we know what happens, but I remember very distinctly having a conversation with my brother after I'd watched episode 3 in the theater. And I was just telling him, I was like, I really, really enjoyed it, because the first one kind of really turned me off. The second one got me back into it a little bit, and then the third one was like cool. But
the third one is the best of the.
Of course, but I told him, I'm like, I like that he still kept me interested, even though I know that eventually, yes, he becomes Darth Vader and he kills, Jedi, and all the Jedi die. I know what happens. I know what the end of this story is.
I do
but
appreciate
I
the politics
still
of it.
liked watching that happen, because here's the thing: they used to do this. Dark Horse used to do this thing. It was an Elseworlds type of Star Wars series, and they were always 4 issues, and they would take each. They did New Hope, they did Empire, they did Jedi, and they basically changed different things. So, like in one of them, like Luke was like a dark side acolyte or something, and Leia like kind of moved into Luke's role. It was different stuff was shifted, right? And in one of them, they looked at it as what would have happened if Anakin Skywalker simply changed into Darth Vader, but none of that shit on Mustafar happened. Like, he was just a badass fucking Sith motherfucker, right? With, he didn't have he was still a whole human, right? And honestly, that is so intriguing that you understand, like, the fucking epic of it, epicness of it, the epicity.
I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say.
I am still a little kid inside a lot when it comes to Star Wars. And one of the things I love is the epic story of Anakin Skywalker's rise and fall, and Darth Vader, and how Darth Vader, and yes, by now we've done to death all of the, conversations about the plot holes and what Obi-Wan says in the original 3 movies and compared to what actually happened when they showed us. Yes, what a dick. Why didn't you just say he was your dad, you fuck? Anyway, because George Lucas didn't know at that time, by the way, kids. He made it up as he went along, you fucks. Oh, continuity. Fuck you.
Whoa, anyway. Whoa, Tyler.
Sorry.
Whoa.
The toxic part of Star Wars fandom needs to hear that. George Lucas is not God. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. No, seriously, stop it. But I still appreciate, like, that fucking, like, that story, that scale story of, like, this bad motherfucker Darth Vader. And that's why I loved the end of Rogue One, of course. But I love being able to see, like, I don't know. I agree with you that there are no stakes.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, we know fucking spoiler alert, Leia's in it, and at one point he saves her from falling. And you made a really good point. Of course he's going to save her from falling. Duh.
Yeah.
Because obviously Obi-Wan's got to show up on Tatooine in Episode 4, and Leia's got to show up in all. We know this, but I still liked it more than I thought.
We haven't even talked about the show itself.
No, but I still liked it more than I thought.
Before we get to that, I think this is just how I view things. Okay, and I don't expect anybody to have the same feeling I do or same opinion that I do.
We have similar feelings. I think.
Well, no, I'm just saying about art in general. For me, I can only speak for me. As someone who likes to write and express themselves creatively, for me, there is more fun in telling a story and then leaving things up to just ambiguity and letting people interpret something the way they want to interpret it and have their version of it and their imagination of it. I think that's
a fair criticism and actually a great way to write.
I just feel like that's more fun. And I'm glad that you enjoy those prequels. I'm glad that and I'm not saying that. And there's nothing wrong with this show.
Well, for a while I hated them though. For a while I fucking hated them.
There is nothing wrong with this show at all. Yeah. Nothing wrong with it. I think it's a fine show. Yeah. I think it's a fun show.
We talked about this. The production design is great. The acting is great. Of course.
But I mean,
Ewan McGregor.
It's just
Jimmy Smits is back, folks.
And I'm not trying to be like you're an artist. I'm not trying to be like that fucking guy. I'm just saying, like, how I interpret it
I prefer to let my audience think about things, you fucking Philistines.
Yes, you dullards. No, I feel like this is the best way that I can explain to you how I feel about Star Wars in a sense of, like, I feel like there's so much in that universe that is them explaining something that they don't really need to explain.
That's a
like,
fair
you
criticism.
Don't need to tell me how.
And I agree.
And like I was saying earlier, you don't need to tell me how Anakin becomes Vader.
Sure.
I can just accept the fact that this is a big bad motherfucker.
Sure.
And that's all. And that's all he was.
Sure.
And then you add all this other mythos to him, and I'm like, it kind of takes away from that a little bit. But
yes, when they came out, yes, it did for me. It took away a lot. But then I revisited them, and it was, I don't know why, but I think I really hated if you know anything about what happened to Jake Lloyd, fucking shame on you, Star Wars fans. Fucking shame on you, motherfucking pieces of shit. Because they've been toxic for a long time. But they also tried to do the same shit to Hayden Christensen. And yes, here's the thing. If you look at the two movies that he has been in as Anakin Skywalker, his performance is generally viewed as wooden, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not very good. But if you view those two movies, and we're talking about Episode 2 and Episode 3, if you view those two movies, the way they should, and it's more prominent and easier to spot in episode 3 because he's becoming Darth Vader. But you have to understand that he is a brat.
He's a teenager.
He's a fucking teenager, and he doesn't
He's
get
just
his way.
like Luke.
Yes.
Luke is the same.
If
yeah.
you look at that performance in episode 2, it's not nearly as wooden anymore. It's actually appropriate
if you
for
go
what
back
he's trying to play.
You watch.
So Hayden got a bad fucking rap, dude.
If
Bad.
you watch A New Hope, Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker is
a
whiny
little
little
bitch, dude. Oh my god.
Leia's
Tell
annoying.
him I'm ready. Tell him I'm ready, Ben.
Leia is annoying in this show.
In Empire,
but
even.
Leia is annoying in this show, but she's nowhere near as annoying Luke was in the first movie.
Leia's annoying because she's trying to save people's lives. Luke's annoying because he's a little bitch and he wants to fly. He wants to go to
No,
the
I'm saying
academy.
Leia's annoying in the Obi-Wan show.
Oh, fuck you.
Stupid kid.
You.
He said to stay put, and
That's
she
interesting.
takes off.
The interesting,
No.
the interesting fact is that you have a new baby. I have never had a child of my own, and yet I am entranced and
Oh my god.
I think the
How much did Disney pay you? How much?
not fucking nearly enough, you motherfuckers. Still waiting for that.
No,
check.
I'm mad at Leia because she's a brat too.
Yeah, but no.
She was born into royalty. She was adopted into a royal family.
When she told off her cousin, that was badass.
Yeah, that was cool.
Come on,
I'm
you
fucking
fuck.
with you. Jesus.
fuck.
Jeez.
By the way, the Alderaanian guards. What the fuck kind of training is that? Let me
Right.
blindly charge without my weapon drawn.
So let's talk about the episodes.
Let's talk about Flea. Fuck the episodes. Let's talk about Flea. That's what I want to talk about.
Well, okay, so like I said, I don't hate the show. I think there's some really cool things in this show. The first thing that happened, and this is just me being a shithead, I go, man, I'm so glad we're back on Tatooine. We're never on Tatooine. And then I started to ask, I'm like, I thought about it. Do they have like a desert plot? They're just like, we got to fucking shoot Tatooine shit here. We just got to do it. There's another thing. That was me just being a shithead. So the Inquisitors show up at the bar.
God, what could be happening on Tatooine? It's been so long since we've been here.
Never been there. Why can't we ever go back to Hoth or some shit?
Because, I don't know.
I don't know. No, we meet third sister and is it second brother?
Fifth brother.
Fifth
third
brother
sister.
and third sister, and then
I'd never watched Rebels or
Neither did I.
Clone Wars, so I don't know what the significance of their names is.
But
I like the characters.
yeah,
I thought the Grand Inquisitor was
I like how
Grand
Inquisitor.
the Grand Inquisitor was suitably intimidating and kind of a dick.
Yeah, and I like that each of them had their own kind of armor. Like it's the same armor, but they had a little bit of variations. Deva, is it Diva? Deva?
Reva.
Reva. Why did I think there was a D there?
No.
She's great. I liked her. I like. It was kind of fucked up that she just cut someone's hand off, though. Later in the show, we're kind of jumping around, but I'm trying to remember the episodes because I watched both episodes Friday morning.
Okay. See, I watched and lending a little bit to episode
Because they honestly blurred together because I watched them back to back.
Right, and the second part that I think that's why I can distinguish them a little better because the second part was really the episode that made me think I'm going to enjoy this. The first episode I was like,
I would say the second episode's stronger.
right, and when he, I know that the idea of him walking onto the transport with his lightsaber clearly on his side is like, ooh, gotta watch the second one. But honestly, I had to work early on Friday, and I was like, you know what, this is not something that is going. There are times that I will stay up late to watch, whatever. But I just said no, I'll watch it tomorrow after work. I'm not going to be spoiled by anything.
Yeah.
That's usually wise because I don't want to get spoiled.
Which, yeah, how can you be spoiled? You know what happens
exactly.
at the end of the show.
Per Jake,
Is there
again, he's right.
Is there going to be I wonder if there's going to be a time jump because he still doesn't look old.
Right. Yeah.
So are they going to jump the 18 years? Because didn't they say he was on Tatooine until Luke's turned 18 or whatever? Or
Yeah.
So we know that he's there for 18 years.
My thinking now is that all it is just going to be him trying to get Leia back to Alderaan. That's the whole fucking story, and then that's how it's going to end. And hey, here's a little thing that happened to Obi-Wan during that time.
And that's okay. So that is intrinsically another big flaw that I have with this show.
God, just fucking God.
And this, well,
Cancel your Disney Plus membership. Fuck you.
I'm still gonna watch it because I'm doing this show.
I'm gonna watch it because I have to.
Because I'm doing a pop culture podcast.
Damn it!
You
I'm
hear
gonna
my
break
P's?
pop culture.
Stop it! I'm gonna drive into a ditch.
Look at that fucking. Look at the. What is it called?
I know the wave.
Yeah, the sound wave. Holy shit! It's just these giant.
Stop making noises.
Requisite.
Fucking Michael Winslow.
Sir, could you come over here, sir? And then he just rips the fucking thing out.
Like some of that shit, I'm like, that ain't real. How is he doing that? You know?
It is real.
Is it?
I've lost the creeps, the sweeps, the creeps.
I had to say that. Hey, that's the reality.
That's the reality. I don't know if it's real.
calling out Michael Winslow.
Yeah.
That's
Wait, Michael Winslow. Yeah. Okay. Is that his name?
Yes.
Okay. I want to make sure I got
He's
that.
He's in Spaceballs. He's one of the best.
Yeah,
parts.
yeah. He's in all those.
Raspberry.
I forgot.
Shit.
Will you stop? So, what I really don't would drove me nuts about this. Okay, so we meet up with Leia and the Organas, and we figure out what they're doing, and I'm like, okay, why? And then sure enough, Leia gets kidnapped, and so now Obi-Wan has to go save her.
I gotta be honest before you go on. When we first started going to see Leia, I was like, what the fuck? Really? Are you fucking... I'm not gonna lie. Before I realized that was gonna be the driving force of the story, I was like, what? I do not give a fuck. I was exactly like you. I was like, I don't give a fuck what Leia was like as a kid. I don't care.
But again, it goes back to, so she gets kidnapped, and her dad, name I forget, what's his name?
Bail Organa.
Bail Organa.
He's a senator.
Goes to Tatooine, sees Obi-Wan. He's like, look, I know you're not supposed to, I know they're hunting you, and, you know, I'm not even asking you to be a fucking Jedi, man. I'm just asking you to be my friend and get this kid. And I know that this kid means a lot to you because it's your friend's kids, you know. And he's like, all right, fine, I'll fucking do it. I'll do it. I can't do it. Ewan McGregor, who am I kidding?
I'll do it then.
I'll do it then, yes.
Senator, you don't know what you're
Also,
asking.
this show gets a 0 out of 10.
Wait,
he
just
didn't
talk
say
over my
hello there.
flawless.
Try it again.
No.
Do it again.
Of course, Senator. I'll find your daughter.
Not bad.
Thanks. He's very enunciating when he's doing
Yeah.
Obi-Wan.
Unlike
he's
he's
any
trying
other-
really hard to mute that Scottish accent.
I gotta be honest. I really like that he's showing his teeth in a lot of scenes when he's like unsure or he's anxious
Well, he's doing
because of
he's,
his because of his beard and everything and his mustache, his full beard.
I do love that
you don't see the teeth that much.
I love that he's still doing the Alec Guinness impression.
Yeah.
He's still trying to sound like him. And
Yeah,
I like,
yeah.
And I've always liked that.
Yeah.
And again, I think Ewan McGregor is great as Obi-Wan. He's always been great as Obi-Wan. He was the best thing in
He's
those
an
prequels.
executive producer. Yeah, yes, he fucking was.
So
Absolutely.
I love seeing him be
I
Obi-Wan.
will say Natalie
So,
Portman is super, super hot.
I'm coming at this as a thing of like, I love seeing
great
him
actress.
do that role again.
Mm-hmm.
But when you put in the whole plot line of like, so now he's got to go save Leia, and it's like, why do you need to build this relationship? Why can't it just be she knew who Obi-Wan was because of the stories that her dad told her? Why did it have to be like, well, they met before, so then of course Leia will always call him again? Like, why are we doing that?
Here is something that
Tell me how I'm wrong, Tyler.
I'm not. In fact, I am going to wholeheartedly agree with you, and I'm going to point out a couple of the inconsistencies and why that is really stupid. Despite the fact that I'm enjoying the storyline, I cannot argue with you. The fact that they've met before, it's another fucking R2 fucking D2 fucking Darth Vader thing. Are you telling me, or C-3PO, are you fucking telling me that he doesn't remember building a fucking droid? Shut the fuck up. Okay? Are you telling me that even though he saves her when she was a kid, when she really needs him, how do I get there? How do I get these plans? Oh, let's go to Tatooine, and then maybe we'll find him, right? And you don't even know. No, okay. If you really knew, you would have just gone, "Hey, Dad, you remember where you remember where Obi-Wan lives?
That's what I'm saying.
Because you saw his fucking cave.
All they
Because you
had-
went to get him.
All they would have to do is don't they say in the first
Now you got to retcon a bunch of shit, you fucking assholes.
but don't they say in the first movie that she knew about him from her dad or
Yeah,
whatever?
but
that's enough. That's all you need.
Exactly. Why are you putting in a fictitious
So how are you liking
meeting?
this if you're on my side?
Because I enjoy the acting and I enjoy Obi-Wan. It's a different thing. I saw Star Wars when I was 2 fucking years old in the theater.
Yeah, well,
The
you know
original
what?
fucking
You know what?
Mm.
Your first Star Wars was A New Hope, a fantastic movie. My first Star Wars was Phantom fucking Menace, okay?
Fair.
So I've had
Fair.
a lot more shitty Star Wars stuff than you have.
Alec Guinness fucking hated Star Wars, by the way. Let's
did.
just, fucking couldn't
No,
stand it.
but here's the thing. I'm actually hopeful. I am. I think episode 2 ended on such a note that struck me because in my head I'm like, well, whatever. He's clearly Vader. But then I was like,
yeah, how is he going to be Vader?
so when I'm thinking, not even that.
That's what I was.
My line of thinking was, okay, I think I know where the show is going. Whereas you might think it's him being with Leia the whole time. I think it's.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be about him confronting.
Well, shit, I
think-
thought Grogu would
hold
be
on.
around for 2
Hold on.
episodes.
Hold on. I think he's going to. I think the rest of the show is going to be focused on him confronting. He's going to confront Vader before A New
Of
Hope.
course.
And they're going to have a conversation. And I feel like it's going to
I'm
be.
excited about that.
And I'm hoping it's less of a fight and more of him trying to reason with him before. And
The moment where she tells him and he fucking
He's
flips his shit.
he's just like he's hurt because he still loves him and he still realizes how
See,
he failed.
How can you hate the prequels when the prequels were what makes you know that
But-
there's that love there? When he cries at him at Mustafar, stop. Let me finish. Let me finish and then you can.
It's a powerful scene. I agree with you.
Okay then.
I agree with
That's all I was gonna say.
you. Yeah, when he's
You were my brother.
you was meant to destroy the
I have to join them.
It's a great scene. And he's just screaming, I hate you.
Yeah.
Right? It's an amazing scene. I'm not taking away from that movie.
Okay, fucko.
Again.
We're so pissed at each other. We're saying the same shit, but we're speaking different
I mean,
languages.
how can you tell me you have a different opinion on this show and you agree with all the consistency canon plot
It's
holes?
a feeling. It's a fucking feeling. I
You know
guess.
what? That's right. It's art. It is art.
It's how
and
it
if
makes
it's
me
how you
feel.
and if it makes you happy, I'm not gonna say it's a bad show. I don't think it's a fucking bad show.
But the thing was, again, episode 1 didn't make me immediately go, "Oh, thank God, there's an episode 2." And I know this is confusing for those who don't know Star Wars because you're like, "Are you talking about the movies or the show? What the fuck?" Let's say part 1 and part 2.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's what it-
Part 1 did not make me jump immediately into part 2, even though they were released early and at the same time. Why? Because I liked the first episode, but to me it was kind of like, okay, so basically you're going to be a jackass about everybody who tries to get your help.
Yeah.
That's fucking pretty shitty, Obi-Wan, but I got it, I guess.
But that's what I kind of and I do kind of like where the show is headed and the idea of they're going to tell you how this broken, defeated man finds hope again.
Yes!
So
And in this world, we need to find hope. In our real world.
Yeah.
So it's a good
and I'm not
allegory.
doubting by the time the show's over that I'm like, oh wow, that was really fun and enjoyable. But at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna be like and gasp in scenes because I'm gonna be like, well, yeah, of course that character won't die. So like that was I get the point of having him use the Force to save her.
Yeah.
In an inconvenient time to call back to being a Jedi, and I get it. It's a good idea.
By the
But
way,
again,
can I just say,
knew that she wasn't gonna die.
By the way, can I just say one thing that really bothered me about that scene? So okay, so he did hit one of the bounty hunters, but not kill him and take him out because he's still shooting. So when he's trying to save Leia, they just decide, you know what? Let's not shoot at him. Give him a second.
You know what? Let him catch that girl.
And then all of a sudden, he's down on the street with them not following him.
How did he get down there so fast? Must not have been that far of a drop.
So, gotta be honest, I will say this. I really, really enjoyed Kumail Nanjiani's character. That was
funny.
pretty fucking cool. I thought, honestly, that he would be a Jedi, but of course, right away, you know. But yeah, I really liked his character.
Oh, we didn't even talk about the one Inquisitor that has the Force ability to read minds. The Reva.
Oh, well, yeah.
I thought it was cool.
So, yeah.
What, you don't like it?
No, I
You
mean
don't like that?
it's a force ability that we've seen.
In other movies?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I don't know about other movies.
No, that's what I mean. For me, that's the first time I've seen
Okay,
it on screen.
yeah, I don't know about other movies, but I know
Well,
I've
you know what?
seen it. Like,
Take your fucking Star Wars snobbery somewhere else, buddy.
I'm basically this is gonna fall off, of course. You know how that works. I'm basically like a toxic Star Wars troll, except for I'm like a really like
Overly
I-
positive one.
Right. I don't share any of their traits of like, anti-feminist and like, all that crap. But I am a fucking shithead, about Star Wars.
Well, I'll tell you why I feel the way I do about Obi-Wan.
Mhm.
Because the Star Wars Celebration stuff comes out. So we got some announcements. We saw a trailer for Andor
Really cool.
that looks fucking dope. Like, it's epic. Like, it looks like a movie budget was put in this TV show, and it's really cool.
Yeah, it looks
And
fucking
again,
good.
it's showing that while this might be because that one dude from Rogue One's in it, so it is a prequel.
Yeah, but I think I know where you're going. Continue, but I think I know exactly.
But for me, this is what I want out of something like this, where
Right.
it's away from the Skywalker stuff.
Yep.
And we know that they're planning on moving forward from that, but there's so much more to Star Wars than Skywalker's.
Right.
And
Oh,
I,
yes.
and I'm glad that Disney is finally starting to embrace that.
And I think the thing that you're liking, and going back to Obi-Wan and everything, and what you said about I don't need this story to be told. We don't know anything about Andor,
And it's
before Rogue One.
and
Nothing.
And it's cool to see early Empire.
So whereas, you know what I mean, like, like you were saying, like, hey, I don't need to see how he becomes Darth Vader or him as a little kid, which are valid criticisms. I totally get that. And here's the thing. There isn't, like, decades of fan fiction surrounding Andor, like there is, like, with Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker and stuff, So there isn't. It's
Yeah,
not like
it's
not
more
like somebody,
unknown. Yeah.
it's not like somebody took a clip from a movie and was like, "Let's explore that."
Well, and it was
like,
and
fuck you.
And it's interesting to me to see early Empire and see them being like full on like
Dicks.
Nazi. Like
Yeah.
they're already Nazis, but like this is like even more laying it on thick of like with the the outfits
yeah,
and everything.
Force Awakens. I mean, you might as well have just superimposed fucking Hitler and the stormtroopers on that thing. The way what's his name was talking.
Yeah.
What's his name? Rupert? No, the redheaded dude.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
but I don't know his name.
But yeah, he was literally like, like it was like, ew.
Yeah.
Don't let him get in charge of any groups.
Well, Tyler, you do know that they were always the Nazis, right?
Of course. But I'm saying, like, it was more clear.
Oh wait, you mean
the symbolism was never more
No, I
clear
know.
than in that scene where they had the.
I'm making a joke that
Fuck you.
unlike some
I don't care about your joke.
Unlike some Nazis that are fans of Star Wars, you understand that the Empire are the bad people.
Yeah.
Because they're Nazis. Anyway. Well, actually, according to George Lucas, you could interpret it as the Empire being America and the rebels being the Viet Cong. He said that in an interview with James Cameron.
That's actually how many people.
But please tell
have
me,
interpreted
please
Star
tell
Wars.
me how art and like Star Wars or any sort of art is not political. You idiot! I hate people like that. They're like, you made it political. Everything's political.
Yeah, you fuck.
I was one of those people. I was like, you don't need to politicize everything, and then I realized, well, everything's pretty much politicized.
Yeah.
Speaking of politics, no, I'm kidding. Good God, no. No.
Good God. No, we're not going back.
Did you
want to
talk about Thor?
We can.
I think
I'm excited about it. We've already talked
I'm
about
trying-
the trailer.
we haven't talked about this trailer.
We have not talked about the new one.
But-
no.
I just want to talk about like what you think with what's going on. Well, you didn't. Read never mind. You didn't read the books. Shit. I thought you did.
Because I really liked the way Gore looks.
That's the thing. I recently, and I've talked about it on the show. I recently read Jason Aaron's God of Thunder run with Gore in it, and Gore looks fucking rad in the comic books.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree. I like the way that he looks in this because as great as like Thanos looked, I am glad that we're going in a direction where he can actually show his emotions because Christian Bale's a really good actor. A fucking great actor.
You're mocapping Josh Brolin and then turning him into Thanos. This is largely makeup, practical makeup, and then they add some tweaks in later.
Yeah.
But it's largely him acting with his own face. Not saying Josh Brolin didn't,
No, and Josh Brolin's a great actor, too.
Absolutely. And he totally nailed Thanos,
Yeah.
and the people who worked on Thanos totally nailed it. But you are still having somebody
There's
come
something
in
else when you
and
can see another
interpret-
human emoting.
You're still having a group of people interpret how he's acting
Yeah.
into another character, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, Josh Brolin didn't do all the mocap shit. I mean, he acted it,
Yeah.
but he didn't do all the rendering.
Yeah.
So you're automatically adding somebody else into that performance, whether you like it or not.
Well, and for me, it's like I'm someone that's like, if you can do practical things, I prefer that, because while I understand the need for CG and I understand it's cost effective or whatever, but there's something about having hard light hit something real, hitting that object. And we've gotten really good with ray tracing and stuff like that, and reflections and all, and using light. But like when I can actually see someone like Christian Bale emote as Gore the God Butcher, and he looked scary in that trailer. Like they did a good job. Like the
Fucking
weird,
freaky, dude.
like that weird trippy black and white stuff where she's fighting him with Zeus's like lightning bolt, and then Thor's like motioning him as he's pointing at him. Like it's such a cool idea. So like, and I'm wondering, and I said this in the first trailer, and I think they're gonna do it now. I really do. I think the 3 Thors running at that beginning of the trailer wasn't just a nod to the books. I think we're doing the 3 Thors Gore the God Butcher storyline, which would be fucking insane, because it's a young Thor before he wields Mjolnir.
That's when he has Yarnbjorn,
the Thor that we know,
the spear.
the Thor that we know, the traditional
Mjolnir.
Marvel Thor, and then King Thor, where he's been fighting Gore for like 1,000 years.
Yeah.
And he's been fighting those like demon dogs that he has.
Yeah.
I really feel like they're going to do something with that,
Yeah.
because
I think that symbolism is
there's
too
on the
too much to
And
ignore.
then there's too many different scenes where he's constantly wearing different armor. So I'm thinking it's going to be in different times. And I'm pretty sure that the shot in the trailers of him and that giant beast is in the comics, and I'm no. That's not when he first finds Gore. The Viking-looking outfit that he has on, that is supposed to be much earlier in the timeline, and that's when he someone says there's something dead in the lake, and that's where he finds the body, and then Gore finds out who he is, and he like talks to him, and he's like, "I've never seen a god like you before," or something like that. And
do you think Thor dies in this? Chris Hemsworth?
No, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. Because I think Jane's going to die. Because I think they're going to keep the cancer storyline.
Well, yeah, but she doesn't die in the comics. She becomes Valkyrie.
She died for a time.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
We are talking about comic books.
I don't think they're going to kill Hemsworth, because Hemsworth said he'll keep making Thor movies as long as he. The same thing with Benedict Cumberbatch. He said, "I'll still make movies as long as the character is interesting." So I don't think that they're going to get rid of Chris Hemsworth. I think he's going to.
No, I think Hemsworth has the ability to walk away when he wants.
And I think he's having too much
they're
fun.
They're not going to fire him.
And I wouldn't be surprised if Thor shows up in Guardians of the Galaxy again. Like
He probably will.
at some point again. Because I don't know. Oh, how did you like the Thunderstrike reference when he put on the Ravager jacket?
Thunderstrike is not one of my favorite characters.
No,
That's when I kind of stopped
I just want
reading.
to. Well, I didn't know if you liked
It's
it or not.
such a 90s fucking character.
Because I think Thunderstrike's kind of dumb too.
So dumb.
But-
Hey,
but-
here's a stick instead of a hammer.
Even
And I got a sleeveless jean jacket. My hair's in a ponytail. I'm different from Thor. Remember that robot chicken thing we saw with the
totally
street
original
sharks?
character.
Totally. They don't like pizza. They like burgers. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they won't. I don't know if they'll fully commit to that. But what I loved about that trailer is I was already in the bag for this movie after the first trailer. But then this trailer just made me even double down on it, in a sense of like, this is going to be. It's like 3 movies smashed into one, but I think it's still going to work.
It's also shorter than like a lot of MCU movies, which is interesting.
Chris Hemsworth come out and said that leak isn't true.
Oh.
I mean,
I haven't been on social media in a while because of something that happened last week.
To be honest, Doctor Strange 2 is only 2 hours and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised these are a little bit shorter, because they don't have as much
Yeah.
backstory to fill in and stuff.
Why are you trying to make them longer?
I hope Love and Thunder starts the same way that Multiverse of Madness did, where it's just boom right
Jump
into
right
the
into it,
action.
yeah.
That was awesome.
Let's just jump right into it.
Yeah.
That was weird. Sorry.
Maybe he just changes his costume a lot, but there's so many different costume changes and scenes that are out of sequence that I feel like they might play with that a little bit. The time travel stuff.
The other thing too is that the MCU is famously
Put in fake shots.
But also they've arranged trailers to show enough to be intrigued, but not to really give anything away that you already don't know. You know?
That's another thing. I love that both these trailers, I'm still guessing.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what's happening in this movie.
I really want Beta Ray Bill to come.
Oh my God. If he shows up in this movie. But that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, 2 great trailers.
Fuck.
And they succeeded in getting...
And don't waste them like you did with fucking Leonard fucking what's his name?
Leonard Nimoy?
No, the leader in The Incredible Hulk, you fuck. Samuel Stearns. Fuckers. Wasted. The leader. One of the greatest villains in the Marvel Comics.
Did you notice the living tribunal in Doctor Strange?
When was it again? Yeah, I think
when
so.
They're falling through the multiverses,
so.
you can see the living tribunal.
Pretty sure.
But anyway, I am interested enough to, and I love the fact that there's nothing in these trailers that makes me think I know. They might have the 3 Thors thing. They may not. I don't fucking know.
I don't fucking know.
Mighty Thor.
Do you fucking know?
The Mighty Thor.
I don't fucking know.
The Mighty Thor stuff is in Aaron's run is after God Butcher. I'm pretty sure. So, because that's when he becomes unworthy because Nick Fury says Gore was right. And I'm wondering if this movie is going to go along the lines of Unworthy Thor 2, where he's trying to reclaim Mjolnir.
I don't know.
Because he knows he's worthy, and when he pulled it from the Dark World.
Lately in the comics, Mjolnir has been unresponsive, has been erratic.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why. I don't think I've read up on it
But she clearly has the cracked one.
He thinks it's because he's been king of Asgard for a while in the comics, and that because he's king and not, a warrior like Thor, that's why Mjolnir's.
Yeah. I was interested too with her design. I love that they have the shattered Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Which is great for them because that's another way to resell that toy, but with cracks.
Yeah, you fuckers.
But
yeah.
Hey, I'll buy it because it looks cool because there's cracks in it.
Yeah.
But so it looked like she was throwing shards of it out when she hit those.
Yeah, I don't know
dudes.
what the fuck that is.
And does that mean insinuating that she could break it and call it back and it would come back together?
That'd be fucking cool.
Like that would be really cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Right?
Oh my god.
Is he gonna wield?
This is gonna be great.
But here's the question, because I think that's one of the plot points of this movie. Is he going to wield Mjolnir again?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's so exciting about this movie.
So excited, you guys.
How much of the Guardians of the Galaxy in it? I don't know. I saw a leaked photo that looks like they're gonna wear comic accurate, the blue Nova Corps looking suit. At they're gonna wear that in the new movie, which would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm interested in what what he's gonna do with Volume 3.
Me too.
Because how is this gonna fit in the timeline? Who's the big bad? Is Adam Warlock going to go after him?
I'll bet you Adam Warlock's going to be the big bad.
That would be cool.
Or it's going to be, what about Magus? The Magus, which is the dark version
what
of Adam
I would love,
Warlock.
and I don't think they will because it's the video game. James Gunn probably had this written a long time before the video game came out. But the video game did the, what was it? The Church of...
Oh, yeah. Oh, the Cancer Verse or whatever. The Church of... Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The Church of Truth or something.
Yeah.
I wonder if he'll do that. Because they did that in the video game with Adam Warlock, and it was pretty great. And I really liked it.
The Church of Universal Truth?
That's something like that. Yeah. I know somebody is listening to this and screaming because they know what it is, but...
That first appeared in the original Guardians of the Galaxy series back in the 90s, which explored... the future Guardians of the Galaxy, the original ones.
Okay.
That's when it
Those
first
ones
appeared in
sucked,
comics.
all right?
Well, you should read them because they're
Wasn't
actually
Yondu?
really cool.
Wasn't technically Yondu in the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, Yondu is nothing like that in the comics. Not even close. He's like a religious shaman type.
Huh.
Yeah, and he doesn't wear a lot of clothes actually. He's kind of a Native American type
Archetype.
Yeah, kind of embarrassing.
Stereotype.
When you think about how badly they stereotyped it because he's a shaman like warrior.
Yeah,
you
that
know?
doesn't sound good.
Right? Huh. Hey, Jim Starlin. I got a bone to pick with.
One more thing with the Thor trailer. because I have another thing to say about She-Hulk.
Oh, great.
Do you think? Well, apparently they've already updated her look in the trailers
Okay.
that they've already released. Which so then
We knew that
they
was
are
gonna
still
happen.
working on her,
Yeah, sure.
making her look better. But do you believe the conspiracy theory that they released the Love and Thunder trailer a week after this She-Hulk trailer so people wouldn't be upset about She-Hulk?
No,
Because they
that's
saw all the
fucking
criticisms
stupid.
about
Shut
her
up.
look.
No,
And they're
that's
like,
dumb.
Well, I said no, that's dumb because they released it on Game 4 of the Eastern Conference Finals. It was because it was a big. Everybody's watching ESPN, so Disney was like, "Put this trailer up."
They do that a lot, shitheads.
They do. How many times have they put trailers up in the middle or at halftime of Monday Night Football?
You know who came up with that conspiracy theory? A guy who doesn't like feminists.
Whoa.
Seriously, he doesn't like the She-Hulk show for whatever reason. He's gonna try and fucking ratings bomb it when it comes out.
Wow.
Like all of his fucking incel fucking douchebag friends. No, you know it was. You know some shithead was like, well, She-Hulk obviously sucked. Now you think I'm saying it sucked because it's CGI, but I think it sucks because
somehow-
I'm an incel and I'm a fucking idiot. You know, like that. You know, that guy.
Yeah.
Those
Well,
guys.
Tyler, now more than ever, tell me about this. Tyler's.
Box. Did you like that?
I was like, where is he going? He's over there.
I didn't know.
He's gone. He's
I didn't
out of the
know.
room. He's coming back.
His gourd is way over there.
All right, talk to me about some shit, all right? Come on.
Well, so this past week, we're reminded once again, and we don't really like to get into this, but and I wanted to touch on the new Punisher series because there's a scene in it which is very poignant to the state of our country right now. In the new Punisher comic book, he has been resurrected by the Hand, and they've resurrected his family. So that's how they're like, hey, do whatever we want. And so
Yeah.
that's how he's reconciled working for the Hand, who is
Yeah.
still really fucking evil, right? Anyway,
Not as bad as the foot.
or a smelly.
Shout out to TMNT. Anyway, continue.
This older lady who is clearly like in charge of the Hand now, but it's revealed like that at one point she killed all of the other elders because they didn't agree with her. Like she's just a badass, okay? But she's talking about how there's this the fist of the Hand, okay? It's that's what Frank is now. And he's the fist that they use to go out and whatever. And she's talking about how throughout history, nobody has ever even considered anybody who wasn't Japanese, okay, or a gaijin, a foreigner, right? And she kills all of the other elders because her idea is, listen, if there's one place on the earth that has mastered the art of killing mass quantities of people, it's America. She says this. She says, if you want to find the world's best killer, you go to where they made killing an art. And after what happened in Texas this past week, I thought, I've been wanting to talk about this series for a while anyway.
Yeah.
But it's very poignant and very topical to what happened this past week. Not only that, what happened in Buffalo, what happened in I believe it was Southern California at the church with there was a bunch of Asian people who were shot up at a church. And that's really I'm disappointed that is a true statement, and I'm disappointed that it hits so fucking close to home. Other than that, the art is amazing in this series. It's actually a really intriguing storyline because, again, you're like, at some point, he's going to realize that either they are not real, his family's not real, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, something's going to happen. Like, he's not just going to keep doing this forever. But so that's why you're kind of intrigued because, he still has a code of honor. At some point, that's got to supersede whatever. And it's always been kind of said that the Punisher, it's always been kind of said that Frank Castle was turning into the Punisher was what he always wanted. And that is no ties to anybody. And that secretly he was glad that his family died. You know what I mean? Because then he was on his own. it's been implied in different iterations of the character.
Yeah.
So I know that at some point his sense of duty is going to supersede whatever they're doing to pretend that his family's still alive or whatever. But it's a good story. Again, the art is really great. I know you wanted to talk about it a little bit, and I thought I would bring it up in that way. Because again, it's very disappointing how it's a panel of her like talking about how she killed all the other elders, and then she's saying like, if you want to find the best killer in the world, you go to America, and she's got this smile on her face. It's just like, I can't argue with you.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out the series.
Way to win on a dour note, man. I was having a good
Thought
time.
you wanted to talk about it.
And then you brought it down.
I thought you wanted to talk about that.
You wanted to talk about the Punisher, man. No, I said the only way I'll talk about that is when I make fun of Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Because he got confronted at a restaurant about everything, and one of my friends commented and called him Fat Wolverine, and I thought,
Which is kind of funny, but
it's an insult to Wolverine.
right?
I care more about that fictional character than that real piece of shit human character named Ted Cruz.
And in case you're like, whoa, that's really inhuman that you care about a fictional character more than a real human being. Well, there's a lot of people in this country that care about guns more than human beings, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah. And that's the world we live in.
Yep.
And this has been News Hour.
This has been Welcome back to the entertainment news.
We're going to go back to the Beatles. Rum diggy diggy rum.
You know what, Paul? What's that, John?
Man.
Hey, you know what, Paul?
Yeah.
I don't like the gun violence in America.
No, me neither.
I feel like I might be a victim of gun violence at some day.
Yeah, you're kind of dead, man.
Oh, right. I was.
Thanks so much for listening to another episode.
We're such fucking dicks. We can't be solemn for like 10 minutes. We can only be solemn for like 3.
Pew pew quip, pew pew quip.
That's our show.
We forgot to talk about the fact that Thor: Love and Thunder is directed by
Tiki Watiti.
He sounds so resigned.
I don't know if I said it right.
I don't care.
Tiki Watiti.
And I was like, damn it, Jane's got...
It's Thor's weapon.
But the really crazy part is when Tobey Maguire showed up and said,
Pizza time.
Yeah, we didn't even really talk about what happened in the show, and we didn't do pizza time, but you ought to know by now. You ought to know. So I asked Alanis Morissette.
that's a fucking song.
I asked Alanis.
You know we got to make another song drop of that.
I asked Alanis Morissette to marry me, and she said, "You ought to know. I'm sorry, but no. It's a jagged little pill to swallow, but isn't it ironic that I'm not head over feet for you?" Yeah! Yeah!
And that's it.